Hello and welcome, Sye Rodriguez. How to cultivate true power and move into self-realization. Now, this is an ongoing process and you're going to have to remind yourself all the time. And I have had to remind myself today, and that's why I'm making this video, because I had some confrontations, two of them yesterday. And my wife had to remind me that it was important to end these confrontations. And so I'm basically using this experience to show how to overcome succumbing to this kind of drawing power that wants to draw the power out of you, and how to use that to cultivate your own power and to grow and move beyond. Now, I have a lot of experience with this. It's been going on for a long time in my life where I have these types of challenges, and every once in a while I forget and I give in to one of these, and I have to remind myself from the lesson I learned. But usually after I use a lot of power or energy and go in a direction that maybe I don't want to. Now, just to give an example of this, let's just go ahead and start with the first one. The first one is you have to trust your instincts. So yesterday, I was doing a business deal or investigating a business deal, and at some point I had the feeling that this wasn't going to work out based upon the response of the other person being concerned about me investigating them. They told me that due diligence has a limit. And for me, that was a flag that, okay, maybe I shouldn't do business with this person, because if they're worried about me doing a little investigating into their character to find out if they're somebody I want to do business with, then I probably should just not do it. But instead of letting it go, I wanted to investigate this person. So I investigated further, and then it ended up getting very confusing. I used up most of the day, and I didn't end up doing the deal anyway, but other consequences happened as a result. They're nothing that are too extreme, but the idea is if you trust your instincts, you can save yourself a lot of time and energy, and I mean a lot, because I used almost every bit of my energy that I had to do stuff yesterday in trying to investigate something that my instincts told me already. So I already knew. So first is trust your instincts. Next one, ignore the trolls or haters. Now, when you're face to face with somebody and they get in your face in a public setting, it's going to be impossible to ignore them, and you better not ignore them, because usually somebody who is aggressive, who comes after you, if you turn your back on them, it's just not a wise choice. Confront them head on, or do whatever you need to do to protect yourself. But when you're on the internet and somebody starts to assault your character or do hateful things to make you look like a bad person, or look like somehow you don't know what you're talking about, or they're just name calling you an idiot, my advice is to completely ignore them. And I used to respond to people when I first started doing YouTube many years ago, and when I would respond to these kinds of people, it would flare things up, and then it would go on for days, and this would be in my mind and consuming me, like anger, rage, and just knowing these people are out here just thinking about the next thing they're going to do to attack my character. Now, if your conscience tells you you've done something that you're not happy with or that you don't feel good about, that's a different story. So there's nothing wrong with somebody calling you out. It's when somebody starts to attack you and you know that they don't know who you are. They obviously are saying things about you or to you that show that they have no idea what they're talking about. My advice is to completely ignore them, because you are going to waste your time and energy, and it's never going to get better, because the people that are out there trying to flare you up, they thrive on this. And the more of your energy that you give them, the more of your energy that they're going to take. So don't give it to them at all. Just stop it, ignore them completely, and move on. So, next step is to know who you are so that others can't take you down. So, if you know yourself and you know what your intentions are, you know what you're doing, and you're honest with yourself about what you're doing, then no matter what anybody out there says or does to try and take you down, it's not going to matter, because you know what you're doing. Now, there might be a case where you are not being completely honest with yourself about what you're doing because you're not sure if what you're doing is a good thing to do. My advice is to really just look at reality of life and know that sometimes it's okay what you're doing. It's just that you don't want to admit that that is what you are doing. So, for example, if you are an aggressive person and you keep pretending that you're passive aggressive or that you're not aggressive, then when somebody calls you aggressive, it might make you angry and be more passive aggressive. But if you accept that aggression is okay, and it's okay especially to feel angry, especially when there's to understand that it's a normal emotion to feel. You don't want to be stuck in that emotion, but it's going to pass through you. Then you can admit that, okay, yeah, I can be aggressive, or I can be, for example, a very confrontational kind of a person. Now, this is me personally. So knowing that about myself, if somebody says, oh, you're very confrontational or you're aggressive, then I can just be like, oh yeah, that's true. I am confrontational and aggressive, not in a sense that I want to be mean or hurt anybody, but I definitely am a challenging person. And that's just a fact. So because I know myself, somebody out there putting me down or trying to tell me something about myself that is true, I will just accept it. And if it's not true, then I will know, no, this is not true, and I will just ignore it. So that's why you have to know yourself. Now, next thing is to redirect your aggression for your personal growth. So when you are flared by somebody else, or you run into a challenge, instead of being taken down and pulled into a situation that you don't want to be in, use that aggression to move forward. And you'll find that if you aggressively move forward, soon the aggression will be gone and you'll just be outside of that place that you were that could have taken energy from you. And now you've actually propelled yourself into a growth state by using it to catapult you forward. So use your aggression to gain more personal power and to set your life up in a way or create habits that sustain your growth and power. Now, the last one of today, the fifth tip of today, is to care more about your opinion of yourself than you care about that of the people that don't know you. So, some people are well along this path, but for me, I have always been a person that questioned even myself on everything. I also questioned everything other people said, but if somebody thought something about me or suggested something to me, I would always consider what they said to a fault. And The sad thing about this is that most people that are not really, really close to you don't know you as well as you know yourself. So you need to trust yourself and to believe in what your thoughts of yourself are, in your own opinion, more than you believe in that of people outside of yourself. So this kind of all is a circle of the challenges and growth and what you're going to run into as you try to grow, because as you move out of your comfort zone and you face new challenges yourself that enable you to grow, you are going to run into opposition, and as you run into that opposition, you're going to want to fly over it or bust through it as opposed to being taken down by it. So those are my tips for the day. I hope that they helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it. And I will look forward to seeing you in the next video.